first female Latina city council nominee, Yasmin Ferrada.
Yay!
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing really, really good. I'm so excited to have you here. I have a ton of different things I want to ask you about.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
This is pretty dope.
But you're a pro, right? I mean, you've done this before, right?
I have.
Lots.
I've done it.
Lots
Quite
of
a few times, yeah.
What's the worst part about it?
I had to get used to hearing my voice back.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have a really annoying voice, so I had to get used to hearing it back. I'm like, it's just cringy when you hear yourself talk.
I do know. No, but please believe me, you sound fine.
Thank you.
We sound good. Yeah.
Thank you.
After when I go and edit, I listen to it over
Yes.
and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty broken in. That's not too bad for me now.
That's good. Good.
So where are you coming from? What did you have going today?
So I'm coming from Cal State LA, where I work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually a coordinator there. So I help transition high school students and freshmen into college and retain them. And then we do parent programmings too. So
Yeah, I've been checking that out. You guys have a very cool program, and I just want to make sure that I'm reading or I'm mentioning everything correctly. So I
Yeah.
did take some notes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you guys have what is the student or Cal State new student parent program,
Yes.
and the what is it?
Parent Academy.
Parent Academy,
Yes.
first generation. What is it? It's like first generation.
Yeah, so Parent Academy is essentially we serve the parents and families of students that are coming. We do have a large population of first generation families.
Okay.
So we're just kind of providing them resources of our college and kind of letting them know what we have going on so that they can then serve as a resource to their student.
Right.
Most of our students actually live at home. So their families are their greatest resource and support system. So if their families had never attended college before, it's helpful to know where to send your student and what they should be thinking about at what point in their career.
Because I mean, a lot of people have no idea whatsoever.
Yeah. Like for me, my parents didn't go to college, but my older brother did. So he held my hand through the entire process, and that was super helpful. But without him, I probably would have struggled a little bit more.
Yeah, I definitely want to get into detail about your siblings. I mean, very successful siblings, very successful family.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's such a nice thing to see, especially, Latin families.
Yeah. Yeah. So my brother, and their pronouns are they, because they're non-binary, but
Okay,
they just moved to Boston. They just got hired as a tenure track professor in cultural studies. So they have their PhD, which was like super awesome. So proud of them.
Incredible. Both of them.
It's just one.
It's just one.
Yeah. So the pronouns are they. Because I know this.
You're gonna kill
I don't know
me.
how much time you have right now or how long you wanted me to break it down.
Please do. Please.
So-
That's what I'm here for.
So my brother, he's actually calling. Oh my God. Okay. That's creepy. But essentially, they don't identify as male or female. So their pronouns are gender neutral, which would be they.
They.
So like instead of saying he is walking to the store,
They are walking.
they are walking to the store.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a gender neutral pronoun.
So both your siblings are gender?
I just have one.
Oh, I thought you had two. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
I apologize.
Yeah, just one.
Okay. So gender neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I'm like, how much time do you have?
I think we might save that one for another,
Okay.
but it's
Yeah.
good information, and I wasn't aware of it,
Yeah.
and I don't want to make a mistake.
Oh,
so,
no, I appreciate that.
yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate the care about that. A lot of times folks are like, I don't get it. And then they just are like, whatever.
No, they.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is that difficult? Was that difficult to get used to? Referring to.
I have some friends that are also gender non-binary. So for me, it's kind of like, second nature.
Yeah.
When they told me, I was like, okay, cool.
Right.
do it, yeah.
Right. It just it almost seems awkward to say when you're referring to a single person.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the hardest part for me.
Yeah. So sometimes what I say is like, if you don't know the name of somebody, then you would say they, even if you're referring to one person.
Oh,
Right.
I like that.
So that kind of helps make sense a little bit.
That completely makes it 100% different.
Yeah.
So go back to the Cal State
Yes.
New parent student program.
Yes.
Yeah. So what exactly do you do with the students when they come in, or the parents? What kind of information do they get?
Yeah. So, for example, this Saturday we're planning a conference. And so it's in English and Spanish for parents and families. And we're talking to them about how to help their student choose their career path. There's a specific workshop in Spanish about immigrant families and how they can use their culture, their cultural wealth to help support their student. So regardless of their college experience or not, they still come with a lot of value. So how they can, pass that on to their student, how to focus service, like how to get your student into community service and things like that. Because these are year 2 parents. So year 1, they got financial aid. They got, counseling.
A lot of help.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that kind of information is kind of, first grounding tools. And then from there, you kind of get a little more fun and interesting with your workshops.
Right. What do you enjoy about it?
Talking to parents.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, especially. So my director is English language only. So I always do the Spanish language workshops and programs. And I don't know what it is, but Spanish language parents and families are just like the best. Like you feel like you're a part of their family, even if you're not.
Right.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's a comforting thing. Is it?
Yeah.
I guess maybe because it's our background as well. So we feel. Yeah.
Yeah, I always feel like I'm talking to my parents or my tias or, my grandma or something.
Yeah. Is Spanish your first language?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I grew up with, my grandma took care of us, my parents. My parents always spoke to us in Spanish. So it wasn't until like kindergarten or first grade where I was like, oh, yeah, we should speak English too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're comfortable with speaking Spanish. I mean, you're very, very comfortable with.
I try. I mean, it's not perfect, but I try.
So what's the trick? How did your parents manage to raise two such great
Thank
kids,
you.
very accomplished?
I'm going to tell them you said that.
Hopefully they listen to it.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, honestly, my grandparents always instilled in us like humility and hard work.
Were they tough on you?
I think my parents, they were supportive. They always expected good grades. Like
Not strict, supportive.
Yeah. And I mean, to a certain extent, they laid it down when they needed to. But,
Good.
But I thank them for that now. You grow up and you're like, you realize why they did what they did.
Yeah.
But yeah, good grades were always expected. Like you're not going to get anything less than a B. So why are you even talking about it kind of thing?
I love that. Yeah, why even put it in your head?
Yeah, so it set the standard pretty high.
Set the standard pretty high.
Yeah. And my brother was always like, I mean, he's a super intelligent person. So
I can imagine.
So that was also my influence too, and what I had to look up to.
Is it intimidating?
It was in high school because I would sit down and they'd be like, oh, you're Sebastian's sister. And I'm like, oh, great. You're expecting me to get like triple straight A's on everything.
Yeah.
But it was fine.
No, that's cool. I mean, have you, since a very young age, have you been kind of leaning towards politics, or you've been very...
Yeah, so my parents kind of raised us that way also, as well as my grandpa. It's like, you got to do what you got to do for your community. Anything that we chose to do, you have to keep in mind how you're going to better the community with it, right? So like my mom, she was a secretary. She's retired now, but she was a secretary for the South Whittier School District for like 50 years. But even though she was a secretary and that was her primary role, she like made sure she did translations for families that couldn't speak English, or she advocated for them if they weren't giving their kids services. That's kind of like how my parents were. My dad comes from Chile, so he grew up during the like U.S. funded coup. They essentially like overthrew the government.
Yeah.
So he grew up during like really a dictatorship. So he was also very politicized as a young age. So that's kind
very
of
young.
Yeah, that was kind of like our influences too. Like everything we do is political. This is what they say, right? Like your being is political.
Right.
Yeah.
I was digging through your Instagram and kind of doing some research.
Yeah.
There was a sort of like, I guess, like a little meme. It said Jerry Brown for governor. Do you recall this? It's like a brown pride political.
Yeah. Ooh, that was like a throwback Thursday. How long? Where did you find? Was it Facebook?
Somewhere.
Okay. Wow.
That's why I mentioned it, because it just seems like very young you were already destined and pointed in that direction.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a picture of my mom with Cesar Chavez, and I'm like in her belly. She's like pregnant, and they're like taking a picture. So that's like hanging in our living room.
Wow.
So it's like,
that's incredible.
kind of like in our
It's
makeup.
in your DNA. Yeah. I also found that your favorite movie back then. Do you know what that was?
Good Burger.
Is that
It still is. It's embarrassing, but also I've owned it.
I was gonna say, has it been updated? But it's not.
I mean, it's Good Burger, and then if you want to get more serious, Black Mass.
Oh, okay.
Like, I've seen that movie like a million times. Johnny Depp just does a great like Irish mobster.
Yeah, I love Johnny Depp. He's everything he does is. But so Good Burger. That I don't know. It's a new one on me, and I don't know if I've ever met anybody with.
Have you seen it?
I have,
Okay.
of course.
It's like a cult classic, right?
I
Like,
believe so.
Yeah,
I believe.
I hope so. I like to call it that. I don't know if people really watch it. But
it's a new cult classic.
yeah, like back in the day when there was video rental. What were they used to call, like, video?
Like a video store rental?
Yeah, like back in the day.
No one knows. No one listening, I don't think
I
knows.
feel old now. But the Nickelodeon tapes were orange.
Yeah.
And so it was the orange Good Burger, and I would play it over and
Welcome
over
to Good
again.
Burger.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My dad was like, I'm so annoyed.
I love that. That's a good pick. Are you a very like girly girl? Are you a shoe girl? Are you into that like very?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think I also have like a, tomboy side to me. I think the most comfortable is when I'm like in sweats and a sweatshirt.
Sports? Do you play sports?
I did. I played soccer growing up. Yeah. So my dad actually was, he got drafted to the Chilean national team. And then he came to the United States like following a girlfriend when he was 18. So he never played. But he's like obsessed with soccer. So
he sounds like he was legit back.
Yeah, he was really good. He was a goalie, like an amazing goalie.
That's always an interesting position to me.
Yeah, you get beat up sometimes.
What are you currently listening to? What's on your iTunes? What are you kind of rocking out to lately?
Janae Aiko.
Okay.
I love her. I love her so much. Let's see. I also listen to Creedence Clearwater a lot, and I think I get that from my dad.
Is that what your dad's into?
Yeah, that's
Really?
like his vibe.
like what is it? Like a rock? Like early rock?
Yeah, like CCR, like the
Led
Doobie
Zeppelin,
Brothers, like
stuff like that.
all that.
That's great that
I
you were
know.
introduced into that.
Yeah.
And what about your mom?
She loves mariachis and like corridos, like the old school corridos, not like the ones that we have now. But
No, she's not into the ones now.
She hates it. She's like, they're glorifying narcos, but
Yeah.
but she loves sing. She loves to sing, so she loves that kind of music.
Hey, coming from a Latin background, have you ever heard any crazy remedies, like home remedies? You ever experienced any of those?
Like if we have an earache, you get a clove of garlic and you like burn it on the stove, and then you put it in a cotton and you put it in your ear.
Huh, that's a new one on me.
Have you heard that one before? No. It actually works.
Does it?
I mean, I would like to. Again, I would like to.
And it
think
keeps vampires away.
Right, which is great. 2 for 1.
No, I've just been tripping out on some of these. I mean, like my dad used to tell me, don't eat watermelon and fish.
Oh yeah.
Oh
I've
yeah.
heard that. Duh. I'm like, of course. What the heck?
Duh, yes.
Who would do that? First of all, if you think about it.
If you're at a barbecue and you had a great piece of watermelon, right? And then they're barbecuing fish, you're telling me, yeah, I got to miss out on one of those.
It's supposed to mess you up if you do. So.
Or milk and fish. Have you?
Oh no.
No.
Why would you do that?
Again, great barbecue and then milk and cookies after? Or?
Yeah. No.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad that I'm not the only one. Is that some of the crazier ones you've heard?
Yeah. Also, I've heard, and I didn't hear this from my parents per se, but like my friends' parents, like if you are sick or have a fever, you cut a peel of potato and put it in under your feet and put a sock on. And that's supposed to take away your illness.
Okay, I heard onion. You heard potato?
Yeah. I'm like, what do potatoes have?
What do onions have?
Right.
No, I heard you do the same thing. You take an onion, you cut it, like let's say a slice of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's same thing. Put it in your sock and sleep.
Like your whole bed is gonna smell like onions.
Yeah, yeah. So do you partake? I mean, is it something that you've done?
I do the ear thing often. I also never eat fish and watermelon or fish and milk or fish and anything else that they say not to eat.
A bunch of stuff that you can't eat with fish, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you believe that you can't swim after you ate?
Yes.
Okay,
It wasn't until like recently that my friend was like, "That's not even a thing."
I don't think it's a thing.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna take a chance.
Yeah, have you ever seen Mythbusters?
Yes.
I want to do one with,
I feel like that show's like disrespectful to Latino culture though, because it's like everything they tell you to believe. You watch that show and they're like, scientists say no.
No. So basically, my grandmother was wrong. You're telling me? I watched that show and I'm like,
who do you think you are, guy?
Yeah, what?
Okay, science.
I had a friend recently tell me, a girl, that if you have a piece of hair or something in your eye,
Mm-hmm.
you take hair and you rub it on your eye. I'm going to draw the line on that one though.
Yeah, I mean, how many times do you have hair in your eye? I feel like that's a pretty specific ailment. Like, I have hair in my eye.
So, do you remember how we met, you and I, or sort? We're not met, but do you remember how we began to kind of